in January, so I think we might have like one more month after that, give or take.
Is there a countdown? Is there a way to keep track of this?
There is.
I want to know if it was all bullshit or if they really want to.
Well, the theory is that in the bill that got passed with one of the stimulus packages, they had like 180 days or whatever to release the information that they know about.
Yeah.
Which realistically could just be nothing. They really would. They could literally have like a bunch of like videos and photos and analysis reports on it, but no real like actual aliens sitting in Area 51 type of scenario.
Nuts.
But
they would never tell us. I don't think they would ever tell us. They would put that out there like, oh yeah, we're gonna,
Yeah, I mean,
they would never fucking.
It kind of sucks though because like the theory that they won't tell us is that we would panic. But name one person here who's realistically going to panic if there's aliens. Panic.
No,
I mean, fucking panic.
Look,
where are you going to go?
I'm sure if you're
going to sell your house, where are you going to go?
I'm sure if the government,
it's the whole fucking planet.
If the government said we had to fucking wear masks, 3 masks, or hold your breath every 3rd minute to slow the spread of the virus, that half the people in this country would do that, I think. And I think that if aliens, they told everybody there was aliens, that half the people in this country would freak the fuck out.
And do what?
Create chaos everywhere.
Burn buildings because aliens exist?
They burn buildings because
black people being killed. That's a legitimate reason, man.
But
it's one thing if humans are being killed and no one's doing anything to stop it versus,
what if the aliens,
there is alien life out there.
What if the aliens,
what do you do?
What if the aliens want to kill people? They're going to freak out. They're going to go steal sneakers and shit.
Why?
And here's the thing.
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand Black Lives Matter.
What's going to happen? I'm not trying to make it a protest thing. I'm just saying if aliens exist and the government comes out with it, what are people going to do?
I don't understand this whole.
You're going to buy a bunch of tinfoil and now we can't get tinfoil anymore?
Yeah.
You know?
But I don't understand this whole Black Lives Matter thing. I really don't, because they're gone. It seems like the Democrats only use them for election purposes. And not only that, every time a black person gets shot or whatever, and even the George Floyd thing. Looking back at the George Floyd thing, the guy had 3 fucking funerals. He had 3 funerals. All these celebrities showed up. President showed up.
It's a very long discussion, my friend.
It is a very long discussion, but...
And we're 2 white guys trying to have the conversation.
You're right. That's another...
Let's start with that.
That's another bad thing. But, I miss racism. I miss it.
What?
I miss racism.
What part? Explain that before we go.
The jokes. I miss racism in comedy. I mean,
Bill Burr's still out there making comedy.
Everybody's got to watch what they're saying now. I mean, you used to have like Richard Pryor, like all this stuff. Even Dave Chappelle, says the most racist stuff ever, but it's funny and I laugh. I'm not going to pretend that I don't laugh at that stuff.
The sad thing about it is, realistically, the saying goes, "It's funny because it's true."
Well, I mean, I miss it. I'm just saying, I miss it. But the point I want to make is, every time that there's a shooting, there's a black person getting shot or whatever, it's always in a Democratic neighborhood. It's in Los Angeles. It's in New York City. It's in all these democratically controlled areas. And why do you keep voting for them? Why?
I don't think if you have a Republican governor, the shootings in Chicago are ever going to stop.
Yes, I think it would. I think it definitely would. No, Chicago is totally
Chicago doesn't give 2 shits about the fucking government, man.
Chicago is
gang related.
It is. Chicago's a whole nother world on its own. But
that's where the majority of the shit.
But why do you keep? So either there's no election fraud, or you guys keep voting for the same people who enact the same policies that hurt the black community. Planned Parenthood, for instance, and why is it that 75% of Planned Parenthoods are within walking distance of minority neighborhoods, and 3 million black babies are killed every single year, and the population of the black community has not increased in decades.
We were so getting banned.
I answer that question. I just need to have an answer.
Okay, all right. That's a very long discussion.
It is a very long discussion. Very long.
We can make a whole different episode out of that, which I think we could if you want. And in that case, if it gets banned,
that's why.
Don't worry about it.
I hate to go on these.
I don't want to get that banned.
You're right. We should have ended at. What was the last thing we were talking about?
Cryptocurrency.
We never should have ended off with Black Lives Matter.
No.
Maybe I should edit this part out.
I think you should.
Well, Fuck it. You guys ain't following us anyway.
Dude, I'm just saying, if you want to have a discussion on all that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's do it on another episode.
Let's go out with a bang. Let's go out with a bang. Smash that like and subscribe button. You better give us some more followers because we're kind of desperate. So.
On that note, guys, thanks for checking us out. We'll be back. Hopefully, we'll be back without being banned or cut out. And Nick is not actually racist. I can attest to it. But he has very strong political views. So just keep that in mind.
I'm kind of racist. I kind of am.
I'm
not going to lie.
Save you over
I'm
here,
kind of racist. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with being racist.
Oh my god! All right,
I won't put this
we're going to cut this episode right now.
I'll cut this out. We'll save it for the blooper reel. I don't know. Tell me what you want to do. Well, I am kind of racist. I mean, honestly,
again,
seriously, would you? I know we're two white guys here, but would you send your mother to go to Newark at 10 o'clock at night to buy a loaf of bread?
No.
There's nothing wrong with
it. There's a big difference.
There's some people out there that are so like have this white guilt or whatever that they would probably do that. They would probably say, "There's a lot of black people in this neighborhood. They're probably all swell people," and they would go get a loaf of bread in that neighborhood. I wouldn't.
Okay.
Stuff like that is kind of a defense mechanism. And don't get me wrong. I got black people that...
Is it because of their genes?
I got people who are black...
Is it because of black people's genes?
What do you mean?
You're assuming that like black neighborhoods are more violent than white neighborhoods?
No, they're more violent and more corrupt and shit like that because of the Democrats. That has nothing to do with racism.
It's a fucking political
It is a political thing. Those cities are top-down, hands-down, controlled and manipulate the black population in those areas.
Okay. At least I understand where you're
like New Jersey, Newark, Camden.
Yeah.
Jersey City, we are controlled by those three.
There's a lot of influence. I'm not denying that.
That's where all the crime. There's a lot of crime.
But when you say I want racism back and black people,
I want to go back to like this normal like.
You got to be very, very fucking clear next time you talk about this kind of stuff between political ideology versus. I know I'm
being a little extreme, and I just want to make. I'm just trying to make a point. Like I know if you took like a soundbite of a lot of things I just said,
everything
you're gonna. Make me look real bad. So
I want racism back. I miss racism.
Don't do it unless it's going to give us more followers. Would you send your mother
to Newark at 10 and then... That's blatant fucking racism.
But it's true, though.
Oh, see, there
it's
you
true,
go.
though.
There you go.
It's true. I would not send my mom to Newark in the middle of the night. Wouldn't. And it's strictly because I know there's a lot of black people there, and it's a lot of dangerous crime going on.
That's area specific.
It is.
Yeah, so would you not... You tell me you wouldn't be friends with a black person?
No, I have, I was going to say before.
Then you're not fucking racist.
I have friends that are black that would take the shirt off their own back for me.
Yeah.
I've met a lot
So it's not the color of their skin.
Well, then what is it? Then what would you describe what I just said?
Demographics of an area.
Those demographics.
Inner city living is a dangerous place. You don't need to say...
Why?
It's not because they're black. I'll give you a hint.
Why is it not? Because they're black.
Poverty,
the majority,
inner city, disease.
So then why do they keep voting for those people? They're all democratically controlled.
They can't even afford a loaf of bread at times, dude. Do you think they really care who their fucking senator is? No.
So then
they're too busy trying to survive.
So this is the question.
And get heat into their building at times. Yes. The most extreme
cases.
Is
the question.
So they're not sitting there going, well, if we vote for Republican this time, maybe we'll change things.
So here's the thing. So then how did Joe Biden win in a landslide victory? 81 million people.
Yeah.
In these cities, only these cities, if you've seen the map, only these cities.
How much of the city percentage-wise voted?
A staggering amount. Sometimes 125% in some of these areas. 125%.
I can't mention fraud anymore. Okay.
Well, we can't, but I'm just saying, this has nothing to do with fraud. These are the actual numbers that came out.
You can't have 120% of a city vote,
81,
dude.
I know. You can't.
So there was fraud, but we can't say that.
Well...
Right,
but I'm not talking about the fraud. I'm just want to know why 81 million people, like he got more votes than Barack Obama.
Trump also got 70 million. They both broke records.
But Joe Biden didn't campaign.
He campaigned.
He did not campaign. There was nobody that showed up to any of his rallies.
He didn't have Trump rallies.
They were honking horns, and maybe that was by design. Why do you think people are think that they're? We had 25,000 troops in Washington D.C. And they're still there with fencing and barbed wire to protect a bunch of flags.
It's not the flags, dude.
Then how come they didn't have anybody else there? There was flags at the inauguration, a bunch of flags, a field of flags, and then a few people who were, Obama and Bill Clinton and George Bush and other people up at the stage.
Because imagine if that happened again. If a
I don't
group
think
of people
they needed,
stormed the Capitol
there
twice?
was more people in Washington D.C. than Iraq or anywhere else.
Yeah. Because
25. That's a division of troops.
Yeah. If that happened twice, the country's over. It's done. Goodbye.
I don't think
no
you needed
point.
25.
America who gives a fuck? The Capitol doesn't matter because they can storm it whenever they want. They did it fucking twice. First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on the goddamn country, dude. I mean, shit.
You know?
Storming it once was bad. Storming it twice? Like, we're done. That's it. All it wraps. No fucking government anymore. Doesn't matter. They can't control their own people. Kim Jong-Chugu over there has more fucking control over his government than the rest of us. Okay, like, no, but America's done at that point.
Yeah,
It's game over.
That's the point I'm trying to make is, though, that, all these businesses getting shut down, the shit that happened, the people in New York City, they fucking hate de Blasio. They hate Cuomo.
Sure.
New York City, they fucking hate these guys.
I'll give you a hint, though. It's not because they're black. There are black people who've made definitely.
No. I'm saying why did these places and these people vote for the same, and the people in the black community too? Why do they keep voting for Democrats the majority of the time?
I mean,
why?
We can go into that on another episode.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's going to get.
We're going to cut
serious potential for banning right there. Going into that topic.
We're going to fucking cut out like the last 35 minutes. I think of this, and then we're just going to have to.
Shit.
Yeah.
When you watch,
we're already at 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, we blew past the hour and 45. So
yeah,
good.
Shit.
So listen, when you're editing this, just watch it from somebody else's perspective. I know what you know and what you think, and I get it. You're a good-hearted person, all that kind of stuff.
Maybe
but you really need to look at it from somebody else's shoes.
Maybe I understand that, and I understand you have to watch what you say and be very careful about what you say,
especially right now.
But I don't have social media anymore. I don't care if they. I know you probably got friends and shit like that. I'm looking out for you too, but
no, it's just you're never gonna get anywhere with our podcast because now we're racist.
That's another thing I don't like is that they could fucking cancel you when you're just trying to make a point. I'm trying to make an honest point. That wouldn't even be
the government, bro. That would just be people watching this going like, you want racism?
Do you get it? Do you see the point of
you're a Trump supporter and you want racism back.
I just want it to be like a casual racism. Not like this, like, I gotta be afraid and have this white guilt and kiss black people's shoes type of thing.
No.
I just want to, go back to, I don't know, just normal funny racism. Fucking not fucking this uptight. Okay. Like you gotta fucking look at everybody and think if they're a Trump supporter, if they're a racist. They're literally in the Capitol building right now, or during the impeachment. They're calling Trump supporters white supremacists and racist.
There are some.
And that's what people feel like they are. And you got to make yourself question.
Well, you just completely proved them right. I mean, shit, dude. You just gave them more ammunition for the fire.
Yeah, but it's unfounded ammunition. It's not.
Not anymore.
I understand.
Not anymore.
I understand what you're saying, but like just the fact that you can't go around and pretend just because you see a certain group of people. Like if I saw a black guy in a supermarket and he was buying apples, I'm not gonna be like say some kind of slur or something like that to him and like.
Or regardless of what you're saying, are you thinking it?
No, it's if I go into a fucking neighborhood. If I go into a neighborhood and I've seen this shit with my own two eyes. I've seen like a black person trying to rob somebody in broad daylight and trying to stab somebody in broad daylight. Right. The cops are right there. I've been all over these neighborhoods.
Sure.
I've worked across from.
I'm not saying the neighborhoods aren't dangerous.
Yes.
I would not go to Newark after 10 o'clock by myself, not knowing the area, and try to figure my way out of it. I'm not saying I would.
So when somebody
but I don't think you can blame black people for that.
I blame them for voting for Democrats, especially somebody like Joe Biden, who is a racist, who's been in office for 47 years, who said many, many racist things. Okay? I can't think of anything that would make me think that Trump is a racist.
Did he ever eat babies?
I don't know. He might be into that stuff. He likes to smell them, so maybe he wants to see if they're done or not.
Maybe. You see how
that's just the thing I'm trying to understand, because Joe Biden won this fucking trifecta of an election.
Yeah.
And in these neighborhoods, they always pander. The Democrats always pander to the black community and the minority community, but they do nothing for them. And then every time something happens, and then Black Lives Matter comes out and says, we're getting killed in the streets, but they're getting killed in their own streets. They're getting killed in democratically controlled cities and inner city areas.
I'm pretty sure it's
but
not
the Democrats
or the Republicans.
Democrats do absolutely nothing to stop it. The Democratic areas, the cities, top to bottom, controlled by Democrats, and the corruption is unbelievable that happens in this city. The only thing I'm trying to say is that's where Joe Biden won this victory, and I want to understand, because the enormity of it is he broke tons of records. He beat Barack Obama, the first black president.
Yeah, but again, so did Trump. He broke records.
Yeah, but
just not enough.
Joe Biden really broke records. So I really want to see if Joe Biden's really got what it takes. And I'm going to give him the chance. I'm going to give him the chance to see what he can do.
I don't think he was elected because everyone believes in Joe Biden. Not saying good or bad about him. I'm just saying I think everyone voted because they were basically they were tired of Trump. This was an anti-Trump election.
So then anybody really could have.
Yeah.
Tulsi Gabbard could have got. So why Joe Biden?
Because his name was known enough amongst Democrats that he would be somebody they would.
Was he though?
Yeah.
Joe Biden,
vice president.
He didn't do anything though.
You didn't have to say who is Joe Biden when you said Joe Biden's running for.
He was the vice president of Barack Obama. That's the only thing that anybody ever knows Joe Biden for is the vice president of Barack Obama.
That's all he needed.
That's it.
His campaign was keeping his mouth shut. And it worked.
But look at this is the thing. Is Tulsi Gabbard fucking? I would have considered voting for her.
I don't think you would have voted for anybody on a Democratic Party.
I said I would have considered voting for her. Tulsi Gabbard.
I will triple that bet with a time machine capabilities that you would have never voted anybody on the left side.
I said considered voting. She was the only person out of the whole bunch that I would out of Buttigieg. That Asian dude, what's his name? Yang.
Yeah.
Out of Elizabeth Warren, out of Bernie Sanders, out of Joe Biden, I would have considered voting for Tulsi Gabbard. She fucking had it. She had it. She was a female. She was in the military.
Okay.
She would have made somebody like me consider voting for her over Trump. Over everything that Trump has done for over the past 4 years, and the shit that even made me cringe myself.
Yeah.
I would have looked at her and said, and she's the only true Democrat. She's the only one that reminds me of a Democrat who's, way back go back to John F. Kennedy. Okay? John F. Kennedy seems to me like he was the last Democrat politician that spoke for a lot of people and spoke, I mean, even Obama, Clinton, I was alive during them, but the way that the Democratic Party has changed so drastically, it's so fucking hard turn that Tulsi Gabbard was a very well-spoken, inspiring, she was a female, and I said this from the 2018 elections. I was like, they're not going to pick a gay guy, they're not going to pick a black guy, they're not going to pick a woman, they're not going to pick any of these people, they're going to pick an old white male. And I said that from 2018, and they did.
Okay.
I knew that they were going to do that, but learning some of these tactics that the Democrats use, granted, the Republicans do this shit too, and I don't understand. I don't like a lot of, Pompeo, Nikki Haley, Cruz, McConnell, Lindsey Graham. They all talk shit about Trump in the beginning. Then they became his best friend. And now they're back to talking shit on him. And I understand, because they want to go in another direction and kind of like distance themselves from Trump and all that crap. But
yeah.
I think what it is I'm tired of the hypocrisy on both sides.
Which is never going to change.
But it's so blatant. And I think that's another reason why I'm not watching the news anymore. Because it's just so blatant, in-your-face hypocrisy. And it seems to happen so quickly.
To the people. No longer the government. To the people. Stop giving the government the power, basically.
How do you do that though without?
Stop following them. Stop paying attention to them. Stop
But
giving
then
them all.
that's what they want though.
No,
That's what they want. Because then
they
they
are
can
going
keep
to do what
making
they
their
want to
deals
do.
and their handshakes and their under the table shit. And
Why do you think the governors were so happy to go on TV every day? People were paying attention. Viewership. They had their own fucking reality shows.
Yeah, they did.
It was a horrible.
Homo got an
fucking
Emmy for it.
Yeah. Who the fuck cares? Start putting your attention, your focus, and your time, because honestly, viewership is ratings. Rating is advertising. Advertising is money for the marketers.
So America is now a corporation. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
We're just.
I mean, we've always been,
business.
but this is just, it's gotten worse. That's all.
So why do we even have the
If
Constitution?
nobody showed up to any of these Trump rallies, they wouldn't happen.
What do you mean?
If there wasn't, and I'm not saying Trump specifically, just an example, but I mean, any politician going out with these rallies, and nobody showed up, they wouldn't do them.
So why did Biden? Nobody showed up.
Because they were all fearful of the virus. Yeah. That's why they're honking their horns from like 6 feet away.
I don't know.
Point is, the government we've put too much power.
For somebody
and
who won 80 million votes.
imagine if there was no need for, like, imagine if nobody really cared about the stimulus package. Do you think they would push to make it happen? No. If everyone didn't need $1,400,
So then why are they impeaching Trump again for inciting an
because
insurrection?
people listen. People pay attention. People are out there.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
My point is, it's a bad thing.
For people to just pay attention to what's going on in our government.
Yeah.
How's that a bad thing?
Because look what's happening.
Because our government's fucked up. It's being exposed.
All he had to just send out a fucking tweet, and it had a ripple effect.
What do you mean?
Trump with the tweeting, with the Twitter, just as an example.
Yeah, but the media perpetuates it. They're the ones who report on it and make it.
But
into
how
a
does the
big
media
deal.
even function without viewership?
Well, I guess that's just the way it is. That's why I have
There would
such
be
a
no
problem
Fox
with
or
the mainstream.
CNN if nobody
That's
watched
why I
it.
have a problem with the mainstream media because they try to.
Then you put the power.
It's all about
into-
the narrative. It's just like I said before. It's what narrative
Right.
do you want to subscribe to?
So why are you
And
watching it?
I don't. I know the hypocrisy from all sides, and this is another thing. Going way back because I've been watching the news since 2011. 2001 hasn't been a long time. But when you start out, you're like, all right, CNN looks like a reputable source. I'll listen to what they're saying, find out what's going on with the world. So then you start getting sucked into their narrative. Then you find out Fox News is saying something else. And you're like, these two fucking people, somebody's fucking lying. I branched off to fucking trying to watch this CNN, Fox News, AP, new upcoming fucking, there's a lot of them out there now. And conspiracy theories. And I try to pick out which one makes the most sense. I watch X-22 Report now, from now on. And that's only because...
That's one narrative to follow.
Yeah, it's only because I think this guy makes sense. That's all. I've given up. I've kind of given up. And I want nothing to do with the rest of the mainstream media.
We are more dependent on our government than most countries as people.
I don't like that. I don't
No,
like us
it's
being
not good.
dependent on our
It's not
government.
good.
But they're making it also very hard for you to not be dependent on them.
Do you need to be dependent on the government?
I'm getting there. Even my boss said, you're almost better being on welfare than working here 60 hours a week.
There's the ideology that you'll benefit more. Sure, it's more attractive. You don't have to work to get paid. Yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't want to do that?
Yeah.
But finance is just one component of it.
What else is there?
All the freedom stuff, all the well, actually, yeah.
Well, you can't travel anywhere. That's against the 14th Amendment. They're coming after your guns. I mean, there's a bunch of legislations that's in the the House right now. They want to make it so that police officers can come inside your house and confiscate your weapons, and they don't need a warrant. They want to make sure that every single gun is registered, and you have to get a psychological evaluation to certify that you're allowed to own them, which is against all these little things that they do to infringe on people's rights, and it's right there in the Constitution. The Constitution lays it all out, but we've over the time we have added so much shit and gotten away with so much shit that it is almost like we're a corporation, or that the government is just out of control. And I'm at the point where I don't want to pay attention to this stuff.
So stop.
I am.
Okay.
But I don't think that's a good thing either.
I know what you're saying,
where
because
do
then
you
it goes
go?
too big, and I get that. I'm just in the infringement of freedoms and all that kind of stuff. But there's a point
Do
where
we
it's
just ignore it all, that the corruption that's happened, just pretend like it's not happening, go on with our lives? Or
well, the corruption, again, going back to the thought experiment, there's no way to get rid of it.
What?
Corruption.
Yeah, but it's just so bad.
And what is you and I researching the corruption going to do to change that? Nothing.
Either get the word, but
Nothing.
can you at least be allowed to talk about it? Talk about it without being
But what I'm
banned?
saying, no, you can, and you should have the freedom to do so. But there's a difference between, like, every time something happens with the government, it's always the government's fault, and usually it is. I'm not going to say it isn't. But then what do we do about it as civilians? Nothing. Nothing.
You
We don't do
storm the
shit.
Capitol. That's what happens.
And that's going to
That's
change
what
what?
happens.
That's what
That's why they did it, though. That's why those Trump supporters got involved in that. That's why I would have said, "Fuck yeah," I would have been there. But thank God I wasn't. I told you I was going to go that day. I could have gotten caught up in
I'm
that
just
shit.
saying, all the real humanitarian issues that are in our country and around the world can be solved by us, but we're not doing it.
But it's also being created by us. A lot of things.
Which is even more reason for us to shift the focus onto us. The government should be like it should be like so far off the fucking radar in our conversations.
Yeah, but
it should be like
the
National
They
Institute
take our
of,
money.
I don't know.
They take our money. They raise our taxes, and then they take our money out of our paychecks and give it to other countries.
Yeah.
Why?
How are you going to change that? You're not.
Fix
You're not. I'm sorry. You're not going to change it.
Maybe that's why this voter fraud thing is such a big deal.
It doesn't fucking matter if Trump
Maybe-
was president for 4 more years or whoever was president for 4 more years.
All right.
None of it's ever going to fucking change.
Just entertain.
So why are we even like why can't we just begin to shift our focus as humans to ourselves?
Entertain this fact, or not this fact. Entertain this theory. Let's say that fraud. You would agree that fraud has happened in every election, maybe not to turn the outcome of any election, particular election, or whatever.
Sure.
Let's say that's been happening for the entire time our country's been in existence.
Sure.
Everywhere.
Every government since the Romans, if not further.
So, let's say that there was a way. Let's say massive fraud took place. Let's just say massive fraud took place in this election, hypothetically.
Yeah.
That it was so drastic that now we have the wrong president in the White House. Let's just say, hypothetically.
Okay.
So now, if that problem was exposed, and now everybody sees it, and everybody's like, "What the fuck?" Because there's been suspicions that your vote didn't count for a very long time, but this is it's out in the open now, versus whatever Trump did. He didn't concede. He said all this fraud took place. It was all right, whatever.
Right. Okay.
It's all out there now. Everybody's thinking about it. It's on their minds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What if there was a way to, hypothetically, make it so that no election on the state, local, and federal level, that fraud could never take place again? You'd have to have a certain ID that had your social security, and it had a fucking blockchain technology, and it had a fucking QR chip, and it had this, and it had your fingerprint, and you had to scan your eyes, and you had to be a citizen,
right?
And you had to vote in person or whatever. So they got rid of all the fraud.
Okay.
No more fraud.
Okay.
That's how you can change America.
No, dude.
Why not? How could corruption take place if you can vote these people out?
One example.
Term limits.
Sure. Absolutely.
Combine it with term
totally
limits.
agree with that. Everyone knows Epstein was intelligence.
Was he? I don't know. What's going on with Epstein? We forgot to
The
talk about that.
federal prosecutor
We forgot
hired by Trump said, "I was told not to touch it. He's intelligence."
Oh, yeah. Acosta? No.
Acosta. Yeah, Alex Acosta. Everybody knows Epstein was intelligence.
So what the fuck is going on with
Give
that?
me a worst case scenario.
So are
Give
these
me
people,
one.
Let me
Give
ask
me
you,
one. Give me one.
Are these people pedophiles that are in office?
It doesn't. It matters if they are. Don't get me wrong, but I think
Could they get this type of dirt on somebody to make them get into office?
doesn't
and do whatever they want?
matter. We've hit the bottom of the barrel. Our government has literally funded pedophile activities for its own political agenda. Give me anything worse than that. Nothing. There's not who do you call when your whatever relative is being molested by some 70-year-old dude who's a political official?
Ghostbusters.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
What the fuck? Who do you call? Who do you call, man? Batman ain't coming down anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's over.
Well, then this
Are
is
there
why
good people in the government?
This is
yes,
why
yes,
these conspiracy
yes, but
stuff
you see what I'm saying? It's
accentuates, and then people take things into their own hands. You know?
No, I don't. What?
That's the people at the Capitol building. They were so fed up with everything going on that if there's a possibility that pedophiles fucking run our government and that there's blackmail that's occurring between these people who are controlling our lives and who is doing this. Somebody, it has to lead back to somebody or a country or China or whatever.
No, it doesn't.
It leads back to our own country.
It's a continual process that will always happen.
So everything's a conspiracy then?
No, everything is just really bad.
It's
really, really bad, and we need to stop doing it.
The economic system, the economics, the crypto, the stock market, the gold, the silver, everything we talk about, the pedophiles, the inner cities, the government, the fraud, the corruption, all that stuff has to, I'm not dreaming when I see that this stuff is out there. That's why I stopped, because I'm making decisions in my life to try and get away from that stuff, because I feel like we're in a bad situation all across the board. And what do you do about it?
Here's my point. The American empire will eventually fall, as do all empires. All of them.
That's what scares the shit out of me.
Not saying it's going to happen in our lifetime, but it'll happen.
It could have very well happened in our lifetime. It's scary.
It does. It happens. Then a new empire comes along. Gets created, new belief system, better than the last one. Everything's
Who's
happening.
the new empire?
Doesn't matter. My point is, it's a cycle. It will always happen.
Yes, I understand.
It all comes down to us.
Yes, that's
the responsibility is
due to
us.
history. So the responsibility is us.
Yes.
So how do you prevent another government from taking over the United States? What's the strongest thing that you can have?
It doesn't matter.
To protect the United States.
In the grand scheme of it, it really doesn't matter.
Well, what would you say?
It really
is the strongest thing that will keep America somewhat survived? What's the biggest? Forget free speech. Forget all the other stuff. What is the biggest thing that you...
I mean, if it's not Tom Brady, I don't know what it is.
Fucking Tom Brady. God damn it. He's going to lead the revolution.
If they don't respect his fucking authority.
I didn't see that one coming. Fuck, we're definitely getting banned for that.
Oh yeah, here we go. My point is, we're
I don't know how I'm going to edit this. I got to edit out the racism plus keep the funny shit.
A lot of shit to keep out there.
We're almost at 3 hours right now. This is fun.
My point is, we need to change. We need to shift the philosophy of thinking that the government is the go-to for the answers and the solution to all of our problems as individuals and a community, and realize that the power, realistically, all the big shifts that are happening is in our hands.
Alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
So, anyway, with that, I think we should wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Got a lot of topics.
Like and subscribe, please. I'm going to do some crazy editing, and hopefully the CIA doesn't have all the racist shit that I said in this podcast. And
pretty sure that's on file.
When I'm going to run for president someday, it's going to come up and bite me in the ass.
Do you remember when he was in his podcast days and he professed to being racist? And he wants to bring it back. It's okay. I'm bringing it back.
Well, is racism gone
Welcome
now?
to Clerks 3 over here.
Is racism gone now that Biden's president?
No, not even close. All right. Is it as bad as it was before? I don't know, because I'm white, but I'll believe that it's getting better. But no,
it's not getting better. I don't think it's gonna. It's never. It's one of those things that's never gonna go away. So it's like, why do I have to kiss people's feet for that?
Again, I adopt the philosophy that it's better to hear not BLM's remarks, but just people in the community, essentially, that experience it. And what are their experiences, and how do they see it that we don't see it? Because it could be something as subtle as, well, I mean, but like it could be very small but subtle actions that have profound influences that you don't see in the day-to-day activities. It could just take on a new nature. It doesn't matter. What
I just see a lot of things going on. Like, I see a lot of like reverse racism stuff. Like in Netflix, it's like they have a section for black people to watch movies. They do. It's on there. It's on Hulu. And they're all doing it now.
I know.
So it's like, where's the white movies?
Dude, don't even.
Why can't I say that? Why can't I say that?
You can say it.
I know, but why can't they have like a section for white people? Don't you have enough to appreciate? Isn't that racist that Netflix puts on something that's solely movies for black people to watch?
They do have white movies out there, and it's probably 90%.
They're all white movies. They're all white. Even those black movies that are there, they're white movies because they were created by some white movie in a white studio in a fucking. There's only one black-owned studio, and that's I think the fuck is that guy's name that makes all the Medea movies and stuff? I don't know.
But I think Morgan Freeman said it best. He's like, if you really want to get rid of it,
don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not.
He said it best. Don't bring it up. I know you as you and me as me and blah blah blah. Is there a fucking a Jewish History Month? Is there a White History Month or whatever?
There's no Jewish History Month?
No, there's only a Black History Month, and that's it. And they get a whole month.
Okay.
But it's like you bring it up. Don't bring it up. Judge everybody by what you see. So if you go to the city and you see a black person with their pants down and they look like they're a gangster or whatever, stay away from that person. Obviously.
Stay away.
And then just leave it at that. Just,
stay away from LeBron James.
I'm just saying. Judge a person by, if you're going to judge somebody by their looks, you got to be cautious. But you can't just walk around some certain neighborhoods and give out candy bars to everybody you see and think that they're all great people.
Because if you drive a blacked out window van, you're probably a pedophile handing out candy.
Is that true?
I'm just saying. It sounds stereotypical.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't give everybody handshakes and stuff like that, and give everybody hugs and be like, "Hey, brother."
People are not inherently good. I'll give you that. They're not inherently evil either, in my opinion. But it doesn't mean all stereotypes are true.
I'm going to be honest. If I have kids and stuff like that, I'm not going to go around telling them all black people are good people and stuff like that.
You shouldn't even have the conversation of all black people.
Other
than fried chicken.
I'm just saying I would teach them. You're going into this neighborhood. You see these people in front of. We got to stop recording.
Yeah,
we got to stop recording.
I've been trying to say that for like an hour.
Well, whatever.
Because you keep pulling up this shit.
Like and subscribe. You're going to see a lot of edits in this. Shit.